So how to select a pawpaw tree? You're going to select from a grafted type or a not grafted type. Let me explain. A grafted tree is going to have a name. It's the name of the variety. There's the Wells, Kentucky Champion, Prolific, Sunflower, Susquehanna, Atwood, and the Jerry's Big Girl. According to Kentucky State University, there's over 45 different varieties available from nurseries. Why a grafted tree? It's because you're going to know the inherent characteristics to that specific variety. You're going to know the tendency of how tall the tree is going to grow, and more important, you're going to know the fruit size and fruit flavor. Also very important to pawpaw people is the pulp to seed ratio. Some fruits have very, very few seeds and tons of fruit. Some trees grow tall and some grow short. That's a prolific right there. I recommend if you have a choice that you get a named variety, a grafted variety from a reputable nursery. The other type is not grafted. That's just another way of saying from seed. There's two drawbacks to that. If you grow from seed, then you won't know the inherent characteristics of the tree and the tree fruit. So you won't know its height, and you really won't know what type of fruit that you're getting. You can grow those as is or graft onto it. Grafting isn't that hard. Drawback number two is the tree that's not grafted takes 7 to 8 years before it's going to fruit. A grafted variety takes 3 to 4 years. That's according to Kentucky State University. Third issue, did your seedling derive? Did your seedling come from a fruit from a named variety or fruit from a wild tree, a wild fruit? In general, a seedling from a named variety is going to give you a better tree. Now, pawpaw seeds are not true to seed. That's the fancy word for saying that seed is not a clone of the parent, but it's going to be a seedling that's going to get in the ballpark of the parent, whereas seed from wild fruit is going to be highly varied. I'm not saying a seed from a wild fruit is therefore a very bad tree. I'm saying your optimal seedling is a seedling where the seed has come from fruit of a named variety. What you need to do is ask the seller, hey, is this seedling from a cultivar? Cultivar is a fancy word for saying the named variety, whether it's the Susquehanna, the Wells, the Prolific, the Jerry's Big Girl. That's the variety. They're also known as cultivars. So you want to ask, hey, did this seedling come from a cultivar? The big positive to growing by seed is that it's super inexpensive. You can grow by seed like I do. There's a link to the video here, or you can visit our webpage, my webpage for pawpaw trees, and see how Kentucky State University does it if you want to see how the pros do it. I just sow seeds directly in the ground. In my opinion, the seeds have a high germination rate, and this is also very expensive if you're going to end up grafting onto that seedling in the future. But at the risk of being redundant, you want to sow seeds from a named variety. I hope I'm not wearing you out on that one. Unless you get a tree from a reputable nursery or a reputable person at a pawpaw festival, let's say, and that tree doesn't have a name, it's a tree that's simply grown by seed. I've just mentioned the drawbacks to that. In summary, a grafted tree, a tree of a named variety or a cultivar, is going to get you a tree that's going to fruit the soonest, and it's also going to provide you a tree growth and a fruit that is kind of known to the growers. It's been identified. Large fruit with very, very few seeds, first to harvest like the Kentucky Champion, Prolific, known for being shorter. Those are grafted, known varieties, cultivars. Otherwise, you have in the marketplace not grafted trees. These are just trees grown from a seedling. They haven't had a named variety grafted onto the rootstock. They work just fine, but my advisement is to get a seedling from a named variety, a seedling of a cultivar. Finally, you can grow any sort of pawpaw any way you want. Grafting is not a difficult thing to do, and it's something we all should have some experience in doing. The tools are very few and little and inexpensive to use if you want to graft yourself. I hope you learned a thing or two about growing a pawpaw tree. Take care of yourself, take care of someone else if you can. Love you.